Software engineering specifically is international oriented, kind of work. One of the most difficult programs to get into, so we're just six people. The second one was much more easier because I jumped into networking. So I networked with companies, people, talk to people, and send your applications, apply for opportunities as much as you can.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Insamara Willie. I'm bringing your way another very valuable video. So I invited a friend of mine to come and talk about working in France after masters. We actually came together on the same scholarship anyway. So she's going to be sharing his experience with us, and hopefully we are going to learn something from it and how to better position ourselves for different opportunities both during our courses as master's students and after. So I'm going to let him introduce himself. So
hey guys, I'm Chinonsu and I'm a software engineer.
Right, so can you tell us your background of your schools and your courses?
Well, in Nigeria, I studied electronic engineering, but along the way, I started drifting towards software and specifically embedded systems. So here in France, I enrolled to study Internet of Things, Innovation and Management at École Polytechnique. And École Polytechnique is #1 engineering school in France, for those that doesn't know. So over there, I specialize in networking, and yeah, here we are. Currently, I work as a software engineer, just as I've said before. Okay,
I'm glad that you kind of mentioned something about the school, because when persons they say Polytechnique, typically in Nigeria, Polytechnique is not really top school, that kind of thing. But here in France, it's different. If you see any school with Polytechnique, that is competitive, then École Polytechnique is kind of like the like you mentioned. The next question I have is, what was studying in France like?
Well, I would say that usually, I think what I thought when I came here was that it's going to be easy, but I found French education system to be very, very difficult. And yeah, it was not as simple as I had expected, because I always had multiple assignments and something to do during the weekend. So I spent most of my weekends, working on assignments and all. But the most interesting part was the quality of the staff. Our professors were grounded in their field, and majority of our courses we had visiting professors, which are industrial specialists coming from different fields and coming to share their experience both in business and in technology. And of course, the international outlook of the school. So in my course, in my program, we were all international students. There was no French person at all there. And well, it was awesome. And you get to share different cultures. You get to see how people reason, how people think, and how people do things. And yeah, of course, Nigeria was represented perfectly.
How many are you guys in the program?
Oh, it's they like to my director would call it elite program, because it's one of the most difficult programs to get into. So we're just six people. Yeah.
Do you know how many persons apply for the program?
Well, we tried to get that information, but unfortunately I don't have the answer. But yeah, it's a tough one. It's a very tough one, because they have limited quota. So irrespective of the number, they will still have to cut it down to this few number of people.
Yeah, guys, I normally mention that France, unlike maybe other countries, they normally have schools or programs, they have the quota they want to take. So if you are applying, you should really put in your best foot. You can get rejected, that's just the truth. You can get rejected no matter sometimes how high the school fees. I think your school fees was also high. So even if you have the money to pay the school fees or whatsoever, then talk to us if it's even a cheaper one. So you can always get rejected. So just make sure that when you're applying, give it your best shot. Shoot your best shot. Don't just be putting whatsoever, because there is competition. You should know that. And then during your program, I think you did internships. So how did you get your internship then before you now talk about the job something?
So in my program, you have 2 internships. So it's a 2 years program, and usually you study for 2 semesters in school, which is around approximately 6 months. Then for the rest, the remaining 6 months, you use it for internship, right? So I had 2 internships, and the first and second, I kind of had different experiences, right? So in the first internship, it was quite a bit difficult to get an offer from a company, and the issue was mostly because I'm new to the system, so I was trying to learn how things go, and slowly, of course, I learned in the process, and got myself something. But the second one was much more easier because I jumped into networking. So I networked with companies, I attended company events, met with hiring managers, and it was much more easier for me to get my way out there. But it's just the same principle that applies everywhere. Get yourself, package yourself, get your CV in the right way, meet people, talk to people, and send your applications, apply for opportunities as much as you can, and of course something will pop out at the end of the day.
You know what I'm smiling because I'm remembering, like, because it's different when you're coming the first year and immediately you have to apply for internship, and unlike some courses that maybe they'll not need you to apply for internship in the first year, but imagine you're just going to a new country, new language, a kind of shocking education system demanding, and at the same time you're looking for internship. I mean, it's really like you're looking for a job, so you're looking for a job when you are having a tedious schoolwork. So imagining the times you claim rejection, and like, oh
yeah, I mean, I arrived September, and by November we had the first meeting with the director, and we were told we need to find an internship. Within that 2 months between September and November, I was still trying to even get myself together, adjust to the new environment. And then I had to start looking for an internship. So it was quite difficult then, but with time, you get to understand how things work and what you need to do and how to position yourself for the right opportunities, right? But yeah.
But I think it was also good anyways that you're able to do that first year, because I mean, it helped you, you're better prepared for the second year, to play the things and position yourself, CV, shooting shots, and so on.
Exactly. I would say that my first year and my second year, if I'm to compare the efforts, it's like the efforts for second year was like 10 times less than that of first year, and it yielded much better results than the first year. Mostly networking and understanding how the system works, how the country works, and how to get around yourself, to knowing what to do and when to do it.
Yeah, I have a very important question.
Okay.
Speaking French, do you think it kind of affected you to a certain extent when you're looking for an internship, or because you're doing software, so you don't really like have a role in determining?
I think it actually did, but it was not as worse as it could have been because of the nature of software engineering, which is globalistic in nature, right? So yeah, in some offers it was really quite in fact some recruiters that I spoke with didn't speak English. So a couple of interviews that were scheduled, I got there, and on the call I figured out the recruiter didn't speak English, and they said, okay, we'll send you an email to communicate, and I never hear from them again. But yeah, because of I think software engineering specifically is international oriented, kind of work. And that really helped me a lot. Plus, there are many international companies in France as well. So currently, I work for an international company, American-owned company. So there are lots of them. So you can position yourself better for those opportunities.
Yeah.
But learning French is very important, guys. Yeah, it's very important.
Will you consider that in France, because people normally ask about lucrative jobs and so on, do you consider like IT in France is one of like the lucrative fields compared to like maybe engineering? I don't know, software engineering, yeah, I mean it's engineering, but in terms of IT and those things.
Hardcore engineering versus IT. Of course, software drives everything, and of course, anywhere you go in the world, not just France, it's considered one of the top jobs you should aim for, and one of the top things you should go for. So yeah, I would agree with you that it's one of the lucrative jobs in France. Not the best, but definitely not the worst.
Yeah.
Right. You can get other things like investment banking.
Yeah,
it's really
very well.
Yeah, very good.
Very well.
But software, you are sure to make a good living and live a good life.
Yeah.
That's how I'll put it.
And in terms of the work culture in France, for you, I think you worked in Nigeria before you came. So how is the work culture like?
So if I'm to put it in percentage points, from 0 to 100, if I'm giving Nigeria 10, I would give France 200%.
Okay.
They are totally different.
Yeah,
the orientation is different. How they see things is different, and they care about their employees. So even if you want to kill yourself, they won't allow you to do that.
you go for that vacation,
right? You must take that vacation. It's mandatory, right? You have to do it. So yeah, it's really awesome. It's awesome, and I love it. It's one of the best parts for me. It's the work culture.
Yeah.
It's quite good. You see that they don't just want you to work, they want you to have a life as well.
Yeah.
And that's very important to me personally. Yeah.
And I think that was not just when you got like your current offer. It was right from even as an intern as well.
Yes. Everyone is treated the same, right? Whether an intern or a full-time employee, you need to have a life outside work. Of course, we work hard, very hard, but you know.
Yeah, you have to balance it.
You need to balance it. Exactly.
Yeah. And okay, the other question I have is advice to others wishing to come to study in France. What will you advise them? Maybe in terms of is it a good choice to consider? Of course, everyone will make their choice themselves, but in terms of from your experience, should they consider it?
Well, I think that Europe in general, not just France, is a very good place to live, right? And if I'm to speak about France specifically, I think there are opportunities, very good ones, and yeah, I think is a good destination. The only challenge that I see is the language. It's kind of makes things a little difficult, but not impossible. I mean, people learn French.
People even learn Chinese.
Exactly. So it's not the hardest of languages. It's very difficult, but not the most difficult, and people do it. So yes, I would say it's a very good place to be.
Okay. And advice to those currently looking for, like people are looking for internships, opportunities, what will you tell them? Well,
is that in software or just
like generally?
I think that while focusing on your studies to make good grades, I think it's important to network, right? And by networking, I don't mean like trying to just run into people. No, you need to have a value, right? You need to have something you are offering, right? And you know, there are always various networking events for works and various hiring events. I think it's very important that you pay attention to those. So you need to balance between studying and getting yourself out there to meet with people and discuss with people, and also, you know, code emailing and on LinkedIn.
Shoot your shot.
You see lots of jobs advertised. It's good to, you know, just put yourself out there, and learning from those who are already doing it is also important, right? How do you get your CV in the right format? You know, what are the things that recruiters look out for in candidates, and also trying to get the necessary skills that is needed.
Yeah, exactly. Like get those skills, you know. I think that's why in France, at least since you're practicing a lot of projects also, at the end of the day, you're going to be able to defend your degree. Like you really did those coursework. Like
I think one fascinating thing is that almost all my interviews or everything, I have never been asked about my certificate. You know, they just discuss with me what you can do and everything.
Yeah, the experience.
Yeah, that's it.
And for example, if you are coming for a course, because you know that it's not all courses that they do internship from the first year, but then normally you have like very long summer break. I feel like you shouldn't just let it go to waste. If you can find like a 3-month internship, it would be great. Although it could be hard to come by the 3-month internship if it's not like mandatory ones, because companies want to do for the ones that are mandatory, the students, so they can feel for them. But if you can use that period to do something, either you learn something, learn a skill to better prepare yourself for, you know, the second year. Because when you're meeting with recruiters, you have to be able to show, okay, what can you do, you know, even if you don't know everything from the start, but at least it should be a skill that you're going to add to the table, something that you're conversant with, that is going to, okay, this person is comfortable doing this. So I think it's a very good point. And also, maybe last point, really advise people to go to your school, to study your school. Because, you know, when people in Polytechnique, like I mentioned, you know, like, okay. Or like, what are the tips that you tell people, like, if they're applying to your school?
Well, as I said earlier, it's the best engineering school in France, right? So it's the very best one, like the number one. And I think that almost everything, big engineering projects, big engineering companies in France has a lot of Polytechnique alumni there. And that gives you a lot of network. So it's a very good place to go. Not just for the teaching, not just for the great professors, but for the opportunity, networking opportunity it gives you, right? The alumni, they are always invited during career days to come see if they want to hire people, right? So the network is so large in France that, I mean, it's really good. And coming to the teaching, I think that you have seasoned people that actually practice what they teach you, right? When people teach you, you understand they are not just teaching you from the books, they are teaching you from experience. And most importantly are the visiting professors who are like CEOs of companies, founders coming back to teach you from their experience and about what they do. And I think that was the most interesting part for me. I loved it so much because they don't just teach you by the book, they teach you from their experience, things that you ordinarily you wouldn't see anywhere, you know. So I think Polytechnique is a great school. It's not just for name, and it's not just best on paper. When you get there, you see it, you feel it. Yeah, but it's tough. The academic standard there is
the competition
is tough
to even enter the school.
Exactly. So so I 100% recommend.
And apart from just Polytechnic, I think generally, especially in the engineering schools in France, they normally used to have that culture of inviting industry-based people that are working in the industry. So when they're teaching you, it's always like, oh, when I was this in this company, in my work in this, in my project. So it feels, like you said, it just makes it more relatable or makes it easy. You know, okay, these people are teaching from experience. And also that network in France, that culture of networking, meeting people, connecting with people, reaching out, showing yourself out there, it really like makes a difference. Anyways, we are going to end this video right now. And I don't know if you have any question, don't hesitate to like drop it in the comment section. And Chinese is not really a social person in terms of having Instagram, because I doubt you will use that your Instagram. So I said I'll drop his Instagram, but I really doubt if he's really active there, but I'm still going to drop it anyways. So, but if you have any question, reach out, ask in the comment section. I'll try to answer your question. And as well, for your CV, I've made a video on CV, so try to look at that as well. Like, I think in my school, we actually have people that look at the CVs for us. I think it's like that in almost all the schools in France. People that look at your CV. So I shared my own CV. You can check it out, the video there as well. And I tried to share as well interviews that I've experienced and how it was. I did that video, so check it out as well. And I'm going to be sharing some courses that you can find at Polytechnique, just in case you're interested and you see one that interests you, and you know, shoot your shot and you see what happens. I wish you all the best in your endeavors, and if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is...
You didn't tell me you were starting.
I'm literally hugging you right now.
I feel like I'm living luxury.